What is up everyone, welcome back to another Gunpla review, and yes, I know it's been a while. I finally left Japan, now I'm basically a wandering vagrant, and before you ask, that's the reason the video is so damn dark. So I guess welcome to Mecha Gaikotsu, the Dark Ages, at least for now. Of course, this right here is Johnny Riddens Zaku. Well, it's spelled Johnny Ridden for some reason, both of which sound hilarious to an Irishman. Either way, this is Johnny Riddens High Mobility Zaku in real grade form, which is essentially just a variant of 2010 standard real grade Zaku, but let's find out how different it really is. But first, once again, this video right here would not be possible without those awesome people over at Hobbylink Japan, and honestly, this channel wouldn't even exist anymore without their support, so it would mean a whole lot to me if perchance you were considering picking up one of these, to consider getting yours from Hobbylink Japan through the link in the description. And of course, the same goes for this guy here and this guy here, also both links in the description below. And don't worry, those reviews will be coming up very, very soon. Personally, I recommend the Master Grade Gym Sniper Custom. But anyway, back to the review. There's one thing that you absolutely cannot deny about this kit, and that's that it looks absolutely spectacular. The bright red is stunning and is split as usual for a real grade into two different shades, or it could be three shades, but I can't tell with my current hobo lighting. From every angle, this is an amazing rendition of the high mobility Zaku, and definitely its looks are its strongest feature. Besides that awesome striking red, we have black, grey, and orange on those shoulder spikes, and a colourless clear section in the head. As for runners, 7 are from 2010's RG Zaku, and 7 new 2017 runners for this kit, for a grand total of 14 runners with fairly minimal leftover parts. But speaking of which, this runner, which says it's new for this year, has leftover parts on it, which makes me think Bandai are starting to relabel old runners as new runners. That's not very surprising for the Japanese right now. Also, like you would expect from a real grade, the surface detailing is great, but you might be wondering, why didn't I bother panel lining it? Well, my stuff hasn't yet arrived from Japan, so that means I don't have any panel liners. That, however, doesn't excuse the fact that I didn't bother putting any stickers on it. By the way, there's a quick look at what the stickers look like, if you can even manage to read them in the dim light of my hobo boxcar. As for why I didn't apply them, I have no time as I'm building this right here. Actually, I lied, it's finished already, and it's an absolute beauty, and I hope to get a review of that up before the weekend, if you know what I mean, but honestly, I can't make any promises. Moving on to the articulation, and there's the head all the way up, all the way down. That's all you get side to side. Both shoulders are different, so there's the spiky one all the way out, the shield one all the way out with 2 points of articulation in there. The shoulder can move in and out here, arm all the way up, rotation at the upper arm, bend at the elbow, and the wrists are just simple ball joints. As for the ab crunch, there's not a whole lot going on towards the back and front, nothing much side to side, and pretty much same for the rotation, so all in all, not much at the torso. Front skirt all the way up and off. Not much going on around here at the side skirt, only a bit of a wiggle at the butt flap, a bit of a recurring theme going on here, right? There is the leg all the way up to the front, more parts fall off. Leg all the way out to the back, not much. Legs all the way out to the sides, a little bit more on the side with no side skirt, but not too bad on the one that still has one attached. The bend at the knee, and damn, that armor section is nice, but the articulation in general is blocked by that bulky lower leg. It is worth noting that the leg does have a bend below the knee, just like the older RG Zaku, but it's still always blocked down there. We've got some flappy flappies down here, but can't reach that one. And finally, rotation at the ankle, foot up and down, and a slight bend at the toes. Basically, the articulation on this guy is fine, not great, but it's not crap. But just like with a lot of the early real grades, there's a whole lot of loose, ready to fall off parts on here. As for the accessories, here is the real grade Johnny Riddens Zaku II with everything that it comes with. In here we get 4 sets of hands, which are the RG hands, holding hands, dynamic widespread hands, and the fists that you've already seen attached to the Zaku. Next up we have a 1/44th scale figure. As for weapons, it's the Heat Hulk, machine gun, and bazooka from the previous RG Zaku, as well as the giant bazooka, which is new for this kit. Finally, we have a couple of adapters included in here as well. The giant bazooka is the only new weapon in here, and that has a moving front grip as well as a moving scope. And one interesting thing about this is that the clear piece you can see in here on the scope was basically just stolen from the standard bazooka, so you only get a crappy solid grade piece to replace that in the bazooka itself. Now that's a bit on the weird side. Lastly, you might have noticed that this thing has been missing these two chest parts the whole time. Well, that's because these are hella loose, and I don't want to lose them. They're basically the size of tiny pieces of leftover scrap. I mean, seriously, can you spot them? I'll give you 5 seconds. If you couldn't find them, they were here and here. By the way, that's what they look like attached in there before they fall out again, which they will. So glue those. So that is it for the review. This kit looks absolutely fantastic. The bright crimson is striking and would make Char Aznable himself blush. However, the beauty is only skin deep, and just like a lot of recent Gunpla releases, technically this is just a recolor and parts conversion of a much older kit. This kit right here most definitely feels like a first generation real grade. The articulation and design quality isn't quite there, and the amount of parts that fall off can get really irritating at times. Honestly, if you're looking for an awesome Zaku that looks and feels great, then the high-grade Gundam The Origin line is where you want to look. But if you want something that is small, but awesome and a great display piece, that you pose once and never ever touch again, then this is the one you want. Anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. Once again, check out those Hobbylink links in the description if you want some awesome Gunpla of your own, while also supporting the channel through these dark, dark times. Also, just in case you too are a wandering vagrant hellbent on reviewing tiny robots, all you need is some black mounting boards like these, and some electronics set to an empty white screen for diffuse lighting. Now don't let me hear you saying that Mr. Gaikotsu has never taught you anything. And as always, I'll see you next time.